Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to this free live session on reasoning ability presented by the TalentSprint Banker's Choice program. I hope you have been enjoying our free sessions as a part of the SBI PO 2015 Phase 1 refresher series, the free learning series, which has been brought to you by the TalentSprint Banker's Choice program. Right? We have already had 3 sessions. This is our 4th session as a part of that series. In the first session, we had looked at how to exploit this SBI PO 2015 opportunity. Right? We have gone through the complete notification and the new selection process, and how do you actually prepare, right? What should be the right preparation strategy for the Phase 1 exam? The second session was on speed math, right? Where we have looked at various multiplication techniques and other methods to perform calculations faster, which is the key to score more in the quantitative aptitude section. And the third session was on English language, right? Where the topic covered was fill in the blanks. I'm sure all of you have liked these sessions, and these sessions have added to your preparation for this highly competitive Phase 1 exam. And today is our 4th session where we shall deal with the reasoning ability part of the SBI PO Phase 1. So I'm pretty confident that you'll walk away with a lot more confidence than you have to take this section of the exam there, right? Now, before I start anything, one important news for all of you. In fact, good timing, I would say. SBI has announced the dates for the Phase 1 and the Phase 2 exam. That is the preliminary and the mains exam. Just for your information, the Phase 1 exam is tentatively scheduled for 20th, 21st, 27th, and 28th of June, right? From the notification, we knew that the exam was scheduled for the month of June tentatively, but now the dates are out. I'll just put it here on the board for all of you. The Phase 1 exam or the prelims exam is going to happen on 20th, 21st, 27th, and 28th June, right? These are the 4 dates on which the prelims exam would be conducted. Again, I think they've also given a detailed list of events, right? And the dates on which it is going to happen. So these are the exam dates following which will happen the result, right? The result will be announced after that. And then there'll be a mains exam, right? Mains exam, which is the Phase 2 exam. And that main exam is scheduled for the 1st of August, right? 1st August 2015. So which means you have about 1 month now for the Phase 1 exam, 1 month to go, or almost 4 to 5 weeks for the battle to start. Okay. And after 28th of June, the exams will get closed. The Phase 1 exam gets over. And from where you'll have about 1 month time to prepare for the Phase 2 exam. However, the results of prelim will come only in mid-July. So only in middle of July, you'll come to know about your selection there, right? I'm sure most of you will, make a cut in the Phase 1 exam and get selected for the Phase 2, right? All the very best for that. But however, the results will be announced only in the middle of July. So you'll have about 15 days to actually focus and start working for your mains. But if you are a smart student, as I've discussed in the first session of this free learning series, you should be preparing for the main exam as well from day 1. In fact, your preparation for the mains exam is also going on with Phase 1, right? So don't wait for the results to be announced, right? Don't wait for the Phase 1 results to be announced, and don't be with a mindset that I'll start my preparation only after I get qualified. No point in doing that. You'll have only 15 days and you cannot, get ready for this Phase 2 exam in just 15 days. So focus on both mains, prelims, and the GD and interview round as well, right? From day 1 onwards. However, our first and the highest priority is the Phase 1 exam, which is 1 month away, just 1 month away. So that's an important announcement. You can all go through the SBI website, sbi.co.in, to get the list of events and the tentative dates which they have announced. So that's about the dates. And let's now look at what we are going to discuss in this session today. So you know what the Phase 1 pattern is. 100 questions, 100 questions, 100 marks, and just 1 hour of time, right? 35 questions would be from quantitative aptitude, 35 questions from reasoning ability, and 30 questions from English language. So altogether 100 questions, 100 marks, each question carries 1 mark, and just 60 minutes of time, which is kind of compressed version of Phase 2, right? Or the compressed version of what we used to have in the earlier SBI PO selection process, right? Generally, we have 200 questions, 200 marks, and 2 hours of time. But this has been compressed to half. However, it is going to be even tighter, right? If you just try to, take the equation that it is half of Phase 2, no. this is going to be even more difficult, right? To give you a proper analogy, I would say if phase 2 is like a T20 match, T20 match, the IPL that is going on, you can take a reference there. If phase 2 is T20, then phase 1 is what happened between Bangalore and Kings 11 Punjab yesterday, right? Already T20 is a tight match, just 20 overs and you have to give your best. But then yesterday, due to rains, it was just 10 overs aside. However, the match resulted in a draw. Each team got, they had to share the points. But then let me make it clear, phase 1 is going to be even tighter, right? You don't be under an impression that, okay, half the number of questions, half the marks, so half the time. No, because it takes some natural time for all of us to set, right? It is not 1 hour or 2 hours, but then those first 3-4 minutes to, actually get started and get the flow. And by the time you actually come into the flow, you'll realize that, okay, the exam is over, 1 hour up, right? So you'll have to be really quick and you should start hitting from the first ball onwards, like what they tried to do yesterday, right? Punjab, when they started batting, the idea was to, just keep hitting there because only 10 overs. Anyway, nothing to do in the series anymore now. They are already out of it. But then what you need to focus on is to solve every question in this 1 hour at the same speed. Generally, what we have observed is initially we are slow and towards the end of the exam, we pick up because, that's natural. That's natural, right? Natural tendency of a human being. But then you have to work on that. You have to make sure that you practice enough. You take as many mock tests as possible of the SBI PO phase 1 format and get ready for this new pattern there, right? Get ready for the phase 1 because you just can't be wasting 5, 10, 15 minutes in getting the form, right? Form in the exam, right? First ball onwards, just start hitting. First question onwards, start hitting. Because 60 minutes and 100 questions is too tight, right? As simple as that. And I've been looking at your shouts there. It looks like, the way the shouts are moving, the way you're commenting is like, the score counter when Gale is on batting, right? When he's batting there, the counter rings as fast as what you've been doing there. So good to see many of you have joined here. Thank you all for participating. And let's now get into the session, right? The actual content of the session. So reasoning ability, there are going to be 35 questions, right? 35 questions in the SBI PO phase 1 exam. Now, I know there are lots and lots of queries in your mind, right? I've been flooded with emails in the last 1.5 months since we have got this SBI PO notification and with the new selection process. Right? The questions that I've been getting are, will there be a sectional cutoff in phase 1? What are the important topics in quantitative aptitude? What are the important topics in reasoning ability? What should I focus on when it comes to English language, right? Will there be negative marking in phase 1? What are the important areas that I must work on, right? How should I prepare for all these 3 subjects? What kind of questions are going to be asked or what topics will not be asked? What should I not prepare for when I go for phase 1 exam? What is the actual pattern? What is the syllabus for phase 1 exam? One plain answer for all these questions is I do not know. In fact, nobody knows. This is something new. Of course, there was a phase 1, phase 2 pattern in 2007 as well. But then this time it's going to be different because those days phase 1 and phase 2 used to happen on the same day, right? Morning you take phase 1, afternoon phase 2. But now it's phase 1 and almost a gap of 1.5 months between phase 1 and phase 2. So things will be different this time for sure. And I would say do not worry about what topics will be asked, what kind of important questions should I prepare, right? Will there be negative marking or not? Will there be a sectional cutoff? How many questions and this is one interesting question that I always get, right? How many questions should I attempt to make sure that I get qualified? How do I know? That is like asking, how many runs should be scored in the next T20 match so that you definitely win the match. There's nothing like it, right? You may score 200 and still lose it. And sometimes you score just 70 and win it. It all depends, right? The simple answer is it depends. So I would say do not worry about all these questions, right? Topics and cutoff and negative marking and how many questions should be attempted. That is not in your hands. What is in your hands is your preparation. All you need to do is make sure that you prepare every topic, get your concepts right, get your basics right, be strong in your fundamentals, whether it is quantitative aptitude or reasoning or English language, right? You have to be very good at your basics, the formulae, shortcut formulae, smart method approach. And once you have done this, practice as much as you can, right? Because I'm sure by now you have learned the secret to success, right? It's simple. Practice is the key. The more you practice, the easier it gets. So the one suggestion which I can give you all, and you will actually have to stick to it if you want to, make sure that you have a fair chance of selection in phase 1 process, is practice, practice, and more practice. All right. So I don't have any idea about what questions will be asked, but then we are assuming that they will be covering more number of topics in phase 1, right? And fewer topics in phase 2. So the idea is that phase 1 is going to be kind of a test of your, your breadth of knowledge, and phase 2 will be depth of knowledge, right? For example, they'll be asking more complicated questions in phase 2 from fewer topics, but in phase 1 they may ask you a variety of questions from more number of topics. However, this is just an assumption that we have. We have not we don't have any secret information there. So as I said, what we have in our control is to prepare for all the topics and practice as much as we can. So let's see, we'll discuss few important questions in today's session. Again, when I say important, doesn't mean that these questions are going to come in the exam. We'll just try to focus on a few topics. I think I have chosen a few questions for you. In fact, some of them are from the last year's SBI PO exam, where it was only one written exam. There, I've picked up a few questions from coded inequalities and few questions from blood relations. So I think we'll be focusing on these topics, 2 or 3 questions from coded inequalities, a few questions from blood relations, and a few on data sufficiency, right? So let's get started. I'll give you the questions one after the other on the board and some time to solve, and then we'll discuss the solution. Okay, but as I said, get your basics right across all the topics. In fact, by now you should have finished your learn part, right? Learn should be done. You should start practicing now. Okay, practicing more and more. So let's get started. I'll give you questions on coded inequalities first. These questions were asked in the 2013 SBI PO exam. So coded inequalities, you know what needs to be done, right? Statements are given where we have different inequalities followed by conclusions. All we need to check is which of the conclusions follow the given statements. Okay, and if you know the SMART method, there are 3 golden rules that you need to follow, right? All our Banker's Choice students, I'm sure they'll be aware of these 3 rules, right? 3 golden rules. You follow these 3 rules and you're sure to solve the answer without any difficulty. There can be different patterns in which coded inequalities questions are asked, but the method, the concept, the approach to solve the question would remain the same, right? Just stick to those 3 rules and you'll get the answer. And this is by far one of the easiest topics from the reasoning ability section, right? You must make sure that if you get this in the exam, 3 marks or 5 marks, you have to bag it, right? And in about what? Let's say if there are 5 questions, I'm sure you can solve 5 questions in about 90 seconds, not more than that. So let's get started. I'll give you the first question here. See, the question says, which of the following expressions will be true if the expression, I'll put the expression here, R greater than O equals to A greater than S less than T is definitely true. Right? Which of the following will be true? Which of the following expressions will be true? Which of the following expressions will be true if this given expression here, right? What is that expression? R greater than O equal to A greater than S less than T is definitely true, right? So this is definitely correct. Which of the following expressions are going to be correct? So I'll give you the answer options now. Just select the right one, right? So the first one here is O greater than T. Second one is S less than R, T greater than A, S equals to O, T less than R. Now, ideally, it should take about 10 seconds for you to mark the answer for this question. All you need to do is verify from the answer options, right? So 10 to 15 seconds, more than sufficient to convert this to 1 mark. But since we are into an online session, I'll give you about 1 minute of time. Work on this, and I hope all of you get the right answer. Your time starts now. Well, it's amazing to see the way you're responding, right? I'm sure by now I've got almost 40 to 50 responses for this question, and most of you have said the answer is option 2, except one where I could see it was option 5, right? I think the chat is scrolling like anything here, right? This is faster than how Gale hits runs. I hope you continue the same in your SBI PO exam as well, right? I'm pretty sure you'll maintain this pace. So this is what is required: speed. Need for speed, as simple as that. I'm actually, excited. Look at the way it is moving. Wow. It looks like all the SBI PO applicants are attending the session today. Just look at the chat window. So, I could see one of the comments. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read all the comments there because it's running too fast. One of the queries that I could see was, how do we solve seating arrangement questions? It takes too much of time. Well, we are not going to discuss any of the seating arrangement in this session, unfortunately. We'll try and take it up in our next session whenever we have on reasoning ability. But one important suggestion and a very important point which I would like to mention is, when it comes to seating arrangement, like circular arrangement, linear arrangement, or let's say complex assignment for that matter, there are two categories in this. One is a simple circular arrangement or a simple linear arrangement. The second one is a complex circular arrangement and complex linear arrangement. Let me tell you, by any chance, if you get a complex circular arrangement or a complex linear arrangement. Now, I hope you understand what is meant by a complex arrangement and what is a simple one. In a simple arrangement, whether it is circular or linear, what do we do? Just arrange the persons around the circular table or in a straight line. Whereas in a complex arrangement, you not only have to arrange the persons, but also assign some parameter associated with them. So that's like, you have to do two things at the same time. So by any chance, if we get a complex circular arrangement or a complex linear arrangement in the exam, in the SBI PO phase 1 exam, you must be very happy because you know how to solve it, right? This is, let's say, going to be a 5-mark question, right? Out of 35 questions, you get 5 questions on complex, circular or linear. Let me tell you, the best and the easiest way to attempt that question would be to skip it. I repeat, the best way to solve a complex circular or a complex linear arrangement question is to just skip and go to the next one. Remember, Gale does not hit every ball, or not does any cricketer on the planet, right? You have to wait for bad balls. That's a good question, you just skip it. That's a good ball, you just avoid it, right? What do you look for? You look for bad questions, questions which can be answered in about 30 seconds or less than that, or 45 seconds or less than that, right? Do not even dare to touch a complex arrangement, right? Don't get trapped in the fact that this is a 5-mark question, so if I get it, then I'll get 5 marks. Understand? If I get it. That word if is important. That's a keyword. If you may get it, and when you may get it, you may not get it, right? Both are possible. So the point is, don't even dare to touch a complex arrangement question in the exam. Take it seriously. All you need to do is skip and go to the next one. Solve the remaining questions, then go to the next section, solve the questions there. At the end of the exam, if time permits, come back and answer this one. Try this one, because there is no guarantee of the answer there, right? It may take 10 minutes, it may take 5 minutes, sometimes it may take half an hour to solve one complex arrangement. So keeping that in mind, I would strictly suggest you not to touch a complex arrangement. Only at the end of the exam, if time permits, come back. And you know that time will never permit. So indirectly, I'm telling you to skip it, to just skip it and go to the next one. And you must be happy doing it. It's like, 5 questions over, 1 over is over, 5 balls over. I'm now looking for the 6th ball there. As simple as that. Now get back to this one. Which of the following expressions will be true if R greater than O equal to A greater than S less than T is definitely true. So basically, this is the statement that is given, and you have to find out which of these conclusions follow the given statements. What do we do? There are 3 simple rules, right? 3 easy rules to be followed. Let me just give you those rules in a nutshell, right? First one is, for example, let's say if you have A greater than or equal to B, A greater than or equal to C. In such cases, what do you say? B and C cannot be compared. B and C cannot be compared. What does it mean, cannot be compared? B and C, when you try to compare, all the 3 possible results exist. B can be greater than C, B can be less than C, or B can be equal to C. All the 3 are possible. That is the reason in such cases. What is the idea here? When you have same variable on one of the sides, see A and A, and the same or similar inequality, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or let's say a combination of greater than and greater than or equal to. In all such cases, less than or equal to, less than or equal to, less than and less than or equal to. In all these cases, the other 2 variables cannot be compared. B and C cannot be compared. Now, we are not going to get into the details here. Just remember, B can be greater than C, B can be less than C, and B can be equal to C. All the 3 are possible. That is the reason we say B and C cannot be compared. That's rule number 1. Quickly look at rule number 2, right? Again, I'm telling you, we are not discussing in detail there. I'm just giving you a brief idea about it so that we can work on the questions. The challenge is we have only 1 hour of time, like your SBI PO phase 1 exam. So we need to do as much as possible. Now, rule number 2, like when you have this kind of an equation, how do you compare? For example, A greater than or equal to B greater than C less than D less than or equal to E greater than F, right? I'll discuss both rule 2 and rule 3 in the same one. Let's not get into too much of detail again. So what happens here, whenever you are comparing 2 distant variables, whenever you are comparing 2 variables which have got more than 1 inequality between them. For example, if I say, what is the comparison between B and C? What do you say? B greater than C. How do you compare D with E? You will say D less than or equal to E because that's clearly seen there, right? That's clearly visible there. But how do you compare two distant ones? For example, I have to compare B with D. What do you do? Compare B with D. What you need to do is just look at the variables, inequalities in between them. In between B and D, what do we have? Greater than and less than. Greater than is available and less than is also available, right? The moment you see dissimilar inequalities, now these are called dissimilar inequalities, a combination of greater than and less than, greater than or equal to and less than, greater than and less than or equal to, greater than or equal to and less than or equal to, right? All such combinations, right? Where you have one greater and other less than. These kind of combinations are called dissimilar inequalities. Now, the moment you find dissimilar inequalities between two variables, blindly say that those two cannot be compared. For example, here B and D cannot be compared. B and D cannot be compared. And always, when we say cannot be compared, all the three possible results are there, right? All the three results are possible. B can be greater than D, B can be less than D, B can be equal to D. That is the reason we are saying that I don't know what is going to happen here. Anything can happen, right? Now, if I have to compare A with C, what happens? In between A and C, we have greater than or equal to and greater than. What is common in these two inequalities? Greater than is common. So I can say A greater than C, right? For example, if you have to compare D with F, what do you see? Greater, less than or equal to and greater than. Now, this is our dissimilar inequalities. The moment you see dissimilar inequalities, you say that D and F cannot be compared. So that is rule number 3. And rule number 2 is what we have done for A and C. Greater than or equal to and greater than. What is common? Greater than. For example, let's say if you have an equation like this, A greater than or equal to B, greater than or equal to C, greater than D, greater than or equal to E. Compare A with E, greater equal, greater equal, greater, greater equal. You have to look at all the inequalities between them, right? So all are similar, greater or greater than or equal, right? These are similar inequalities. So definitely there is a result possible. Like when we have dissimilar inequalities, we say two cannot be compared, D and F cannot be compared. But in this case, A and E can be compared because all are similar inequalities. But what is the result? What is the result between A and E? What is the comparison? You will say A greater than E. What is the reason? See, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, greater than and greater than or equal to. In all these four, what is one thing that you find common? Greater. So your answer is greater. You cannot say the result is greater than or equal to. Why? Equality is not available here. That equality is not available here. Connection is lost. So this greater equality cannot come here. If equality is available here as well, then you can say A greater than or equal to E. That's the idea, right? That's about coded inequalities in about 2 minutes. So anyway, you can refer the whole video, right? The video that we have for coded inequalities, I think that's a 40-minute video. Coded inequalities in the Banker's Choice program. You can refer that and learn all the detailed things, right? There are some exceptions. For example, rules are not applicable for equality and all. So what will be the answer here? We have to find out which of these are correct if the given equation is definitely true. Look at the first one. He is saying O greater than T. What does the question says? Option says O greater than T. We have to just compare. Compare O with T. See, the point is O is equal to A. When we have such a case, O and A can be interchanged. So I can write A here and take O this place. So if you compare O with T, what do we see? O greater than S, less than T. Dissimilar inequalities. Rule number 3 says when there are dissimilar inequalities, the two variables cannot be compared. So this is wrong. He is comparing. He is telling that O is greater than T. आपको कैसे पता भैया O greater than T है? O can be greater than T, O can be less than T, O can be equal to T. Right? समझ में आ रहा है? तीनों रिजल्ट्स पॉसिबल है. ग्रेटर हो सकता है, लेस भी हो सकता है और इक्वल भी हो सकता है. ये बंदा क्या बोल रहा है? O ग्रेटर है. इसको कैसे पता? नहीं, दिस कैन नॉट बी करेक्ट, राइट? हम क्या बोलेंगे? लेस भी होगा या इक्वल भी हो सकता है, इसीलिए ये रॉन्ग है, राइट? कंक्लूजन का मतलब क्या होता है? समथिंग व्हिच इज डेफिनेटली करेक्ट. दिस इज पॉसिबल. O ग्रेटर देन T पॉसिबल हो सकता है, लेकिन डेफिनेटली करेक्ट हम नहीं कह सकते, इसलिए फर्स्ट वन रॉन्ग है. अब सेकंड वन, S less than R. S less than R, how do you compare S with R? See, the same thing. The only point is when you have equality, you can consider any one of them. Either you take O or you take A. For example, you say we can write it in this form: R greater than O greater than S, or we can say R greater than A greater than S. Anyways, you can take any one of them, either O or A. Now, if you have to compare S with R, check. S is less than O, O is less than R. Less than and less than. S is less than O. See, we are going in the reverse direction. So this is not greater than. If you look from left hand side, this is greater than. But from right hand side, this is going to be less than. So S is less than O, O less than R. Less than and less than. Combination, right? What is common? Less than is common. So can I say S less than R? S is less than R? Yes. Second one is the right answer. And the moment you have got second one as the right answer, you need not worry about the remaining three options. You need not check them, right? Because they are definitely going to be wrong. Only one of them is correct. Only one of them is correct. Unless we have answer option which says 2 and 3 are correct or 2 and 4 are correct. Then you'll have to be careful. But in this case, you can say S is less than R, right? So that's about coded inequalities. Let us take one or two more examples and then we'll go to blood relations. Let me see what else do I have for you, right? Okay, what should come in place of question mark? This is interesting. What should come in place of question mark in the given expression in order to make the expression P greater than A? See, this is the expression P greater than L question mark A greater than or equal to N equal to T. This is given, right? This is definitely true. This given expression is definitely true. He's saying P greater than L equal to A greater than or equal to N equal to T. This is question mark A, sorry, P greater than L question mark A greater than or equal to N equal to T. This is definitely true. So what should come in place of question mark, right? What will come in place of question mark such that P greater than A and P greater than A and T less than or equal to L are also true. So we want these two to be true. So what should come in place of question mark? Options are less than or equal, second option greater than, third option less than, and fourth option is greater than or equal to fifth option. Fifth option here पर less than or equal to or less than. So these are the five options, right? Statement is P greater than L question mark A greater than or equal to N equal to T, and this is definitely correct. We want P greater than A and T less than or equal to L to also be true, right? We want these two to be true. I'm not giving you the actual lengthy question there, just in a gist, right? This is the given expression which is correct. We want these two to be correct. So for these two to be correct, what should come in place of the question mark? Five options, find out the answer. And we'll take one more similar question, I think, see what is given here. And we'll discuss both of these questions. We want B greater than N and D less than or equal to L to be definitely true. Right? B greater than N and D less than or equal to L are definitely true. So we have to fill up the blanks here. B dash L dash O dash N dash D. We want B greater than N and D less than or equal to L to be definitely true. So what will come in all these places is the question there. I'll give you the answer options. I hope this is visible, right? Yeah. So equal, see there are four blanks. So each option will have four inequalities. Greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Second option says greater than or equal to greater. Third option says greater, less than, equal to, less than, equal to. Fourth option is greater, equal, greater than or equal to. And last option here is greater than, equal to, greater than or equal to, and greater than. So these are the five answer options. All right. So two questions from coded inequalities, both are of different formats, right? So one is what will come in place of question mark if these two are true, and here if these two are true, what will come in place of these blanks here. So I'll give you about 2 minutes, solve these two questions, and then I'll join you with the right solutions. All right, I can see a lot of answers. Many of you say the answer is 4 and 4. Okay, 4 and 4. Option 4 for both the questions, right? And some of you say 1, 4, 3. What is that? All right, so let us look at the first one here. What does it say? P greater than L question mark A equals greater than or equal to N equal to T is definitely true, and we want these two to be true. P greater than A and T less than or equal to L should also be true. So which of the following options will come in place of question mark? See, all we need to do is substitute the answer options one after the other. There is no point in directly working on this one. Just try to substitute the answer options and then find out which one is correct. Or if at all you want to find out possible answers, then you can look at these things. For example, we want P to be greater than A. We want P to be greater than A. Now, if you look at only this part here, what does it say? P greater than L, P greater than L, question mark A. P greater than L, question mark A. Now, when can P be greater than A? What are the possible cases in which P can be greater than A? See, can the question mark be equal to, first of all? Yes. So P is greater than L, L equal to A. L is equal to A. So if P is greater than L, we can say P is greater than A. So question mark can be equal. That's one possibility. The other possibility is question mark can be greater than. What happens in that case? P greater than L, L greater than A. So P greater than L, L greater than A, P is greater than A. So that's the second possibility. The third possibility is it can be greater or equal. In this case, what happens? P greater than L, L greater than or equal to A. So P greater than L, L greater than or equal to A. What is common? Greater is common. So even in that case, P can be greater than A. So one point is very clear. It can be either equal, greater, or greater than or equal to, which means less or less than or equal to is not possible. So you can immediately eliminate first option and third option. The answers cannot be first option and third option. It should be second option or fourth option. And fifth option is also not possible. Fifth option says less than or equal to and less than. So only two possible answers, either greater or greater than or equal to. Now what do? If you want to verify which is correct, take the second part. T should be less than or equal to L. T should be less than or equal to L. When does this happen? See, T is anyway equal to N. So we can replace N with T, right? T is equal to N, so N can be replaced with T. Now, if you look at this part of the equation, what happens? L question mark A greater than or equal to actually N, but I'm replacing N with T. I'm replacing N with T. Now, try to understand. We want T to be less than or equal to A. T is less than or equal to A. T is less than or equal to A. What should come in place of question mark so that T is less than or equal to L? Are you able to follow? The overall result between T and L is as follows. T is less than or equal to L. L greater than or equal to T or T less than or equal to L. Both are same. So this is already less than or equal to. You know that this is possible only if question mark is less than or equal. Only in that case it is possible, right? T less than or equal to A less than or equal to L. So T less than or equal to L. If this is only greater than, let's say, then that equality will not come here. So the obvious answer is greater than or equal to. We can now say that the answer is option 4, greater than or equal to. Right? So that's about it. Just follow the 3 rules. What we are doing here, trying to apply those 3 rules. Rule number 2, importantly, right? Most important one is rule 2. Whenever you compare two distant variables, take the inequalities in between them and try to find out the common part. Okay. Now the next one, next question from coded inequalities. What does it say? B greater than N, B greater than N, and D less than or equal to L are definitely true. So what should come in place of B dash L dash O dash N dash D? What are the given cases? B should be greater than N and D is less than or equal to N. These are definitely true. These are definitely true. So what will come in these blanks? What can we do? Again, like what we have done in the previous case. The only difference is earlier we had question mark. Now we have a blank. But this time we have multiple question marks, multiple blanks, right? So we have to find out what will come in all these blanks. So like previous case, you can check if you want B to be greater than N. So what are the possible cases? But since there are 3 blanks, checking out all the possible cases will be really difficult. So what we'll do, substitute the answer options one after the other. 3 of them or 4 of them will get eliminated. The left out one is the correct one, right? So let's substitute the first option, equal, equal. If you substitute equal, equal, and then greater than or equal, I'm taking the first option, equal, equal, greater than or equal, greater than or equal. Now what do you see? B is equal to L, L is equal to O. Since all these 3 are equal, can I replace O with B? Yes. O can be replaced with B. So B is greater than or equal to N. B is greater than or equal to N. But what do we want? We want B to be only greater than N. Equality should not be there, which means first option is wrong. Yes or no? First option is ruled out. Getting the point? Equal, equal, greater than or equal. So all these 3 are equal. O can be replaced with B. B is greater than or equal to N. But the given question says B should be only greater than N. First option is ruled out. Likewise, now substitute the second option, right? Substitute second option, what happens? We have greater than or equal to, and greater than. So greater than or equal to, and greater than. Now B should be greater than N. B should be greater than N. See, since O is equal to N, we can write N in place of O. So these two can be interchanged. So B greater than L, L greater than or equal to N. B greater than L, L greater than or equal to N. What is common? B greater than N. So the first one is satisfied, right? We have got B greater than N. Now that the first one is satisfied, look at second one. D less than or equal to L. D less than or equal to L. D is, see, don't misunderstand. This is a blank. This is not equal to here. This is a blank. D is less than L. Anyone can be considered, either N or O, right? We have discussed all these things in detail in the video. Either N or O. So D is less than N. N less than or equal to L. Right? D less than N. I'm avoiding that O equal to O, right? Anyway, N is equal to O. And this is less than or equal to L. Now, if you compare D and L, what is the result that we get? D less than N, N less than or equal to L, which means D is less than L. But what is our requirement? Less than or equal to L, which means second option is also wrong. So this way, keep verifying the answer option there. Let's now move on to the next one. What's the next answer option? Third one, greater than, less than. See, it's obvious that third one cannot be the answer. Why is it so? See, if you take greater than and less than here, greater than and less than here, you know that B and N cannot be compared. Whatever be the inequality here, B and N cannot be compared. What is the reason? In between B and N, we have got dissimilar inequalities, greater and lesser. Dissimilar inequalities, the two variables cannot be compared. But we have a comparison here. It's saying B is greater than N, which means third option cannot be the answer. So visualization is enough. I mean, you need not actually substitute always and check it out, right? Just by putting up those blanks, you can verify. Next one, fourth option. Let's see the fourth option now. Greater, equal, greater than or equal. Now compare B greater than N. Yes, B greater than L. L and O and N are equal. So I can replace N with L. So B is greater than N. First one is satisfied. Second one, D less than or equal to N. We want D to be less than or equal to L. We know that N and L are equal. So N can be replaced with L. D is less than or equal to N. Implies D is less than or equal to L. The second one is also satisfied. Both the conditions are satisfied. We can say fourth option is the correct answer. So all we need to do is just substitute the answer options and verify which of them is correct. So that's about coded inequalities. Let me tell you, whatever be the pattern of question, we have seen three different patterns so far. Finding out what comes in question mark, what comes in fill up the blanks, which of the following conclusions are correct and all that, right? Whatever be the pattern, the concept, the approach for solving the question remains the same, right? That is just follow the three rules there. I have more questions on coded inequalities here, but I'd like to move on to another topic because we have just 15 minutes left for the session. So let us discuss something on blood relations, right? I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do at least 2 or 3 questions, or if not more, 2 questions. So let's discuss these 2 questions, right? Blood relations again is an important topic. Blood relations from reasoning, right? You can expect questions in phase 1 exam. Okay. Phase 2 again, of course. Phase 2 also, this is an important topic. So let's look at this blood relations. Okay. Well, in Hindi, it is really funny, right? Blood relations, if you want to convert it, sound like what? Blood relations is what? Khoon ka rishta, right? Or khoon ke rishte. Sounds more like a Bollywood movie title of early 90s, huh? Khoon ka rishta and Doodh ka karz and all that. And little terrible also, right? Khoon ka rishta. Sounds dangerous, right? But anyway, answering questions is very easy, right? The topic may be terrible in Hindi, but answering the questions is really very easy. Really very easy if you know the SMART method. What is the SMART method? Again, I'm sure many of you are aware of the SMART method, right? Banker's Choice videos, if you have gone through, it talks about all these best methods to solve the questions. Now, the best way to answer questions from blood relations, generally what do? We draw a family diagram, right? We draw that family tree, all that branches and everything, and then we try to connect. But an easier approach and a better way of solving the questions here is to go by generation gap and gender, right? We'll look at some questions and understand that. Generation gap and gender. If you focus on these 2 points, most of the questions can be answered without even drawing family tree, right? So let's first look at the question here. Now, as usual, different symbols are given with their meanings. So we'll have to actually first look at the meanings of these symbols and then questions there. So A plus B means A is father of B. So I'm simply putting that plus is father, right? For because there is a space congestion here, plus is father. Likewise, into means sister. Into means sister. Then dollar. A dollar B means A is the wife. So dollar means wife. Dollar means wife, right? And percentage means mother. Right? Wherever you have percentage, that means mother. And division implies son. So these are the 5 relationships given to us. Plus is father, into is sister, dollar is wife, percentage is mother, and division is son. Now, different questions based on this. First one. What should come in place of question mark to establish that J is the brother of T in the given expression? So again, there is an equation given here, very popular model. An equation is given with a relationship. We have to find out what comes in place of question mark so that the relationship is correct. What is the relationship, by the way? J is the brother of T. We want J to be the brother of T. J is the brother of T. J is the brother of T. What is the given equation? J division P percentage H question mark T percentage L. J is the brother of T. J division P percentage H question mark T percentage L. And we have to find out what comes in place of question mark. Let me tell you, question mark is not a symbol. Question mark is actually question mark. It implies question mark here. What will come there? Sometimes question mark may be given with the meaning also. That's a different story. But here it literally means a question mark, right? We have to find out what comes in. And the given answer options are as follows. Into, then we have second one as division. The third answer option here is dollar. Fourth one is division or into. And the fifth one is plus or division. Into, division, dollar, either division or into, and either plus or division. So J is the brother of T. He has declared that J is the brother of T, and an equation is given with something missing in between. So what will come in here so that J is the brother of T? I'll give you about 1 minute to work on this question, right? Follow whatever method you know, family tree or anything there, and see what the answer is. I think many of you have got the answer as option 1, and some of you have got too many ones there. All right, so let's look at this. What do we do? J is the brother of T. The given relationship is J is the brother of T. Now you know the traditional method of solving these questions. We have to draw a family tree and verify which is the correct answer. But let us directly move on to the smart way of solving this question. See, all you need to look at is two things. One is the gender of the person, and the second one is generation gap. Right, generation gap between the persons. For example, here what do we know? J is the brother of T. Now, if J is the brother of T, it is obvious that J is a male person. J is a male person, right? J is the brother of T. How about the gender of T? Gender of T is not known to us, right? We cannot argue on the gender of T there, because T can be the sister of J or brother of J. Both are possible. So T's gender anyway can be worked on, but J should be definitely a male person. Then the second point, gender is done. Second point is generation gap. Now, what is meant by generation gap? Like, for example, let's say me and my father, the generation gap is going to be 1. Me and my grandfather, generation gap would be 2. Your siblings, generation gap is 0, right? Your wife, generation gap is 0. Age difference may be 40 years. That's a different story between husband and wife, but generation gap is considered as 1, right? Like, as per the relationship, they are in the same generation. Okay. Then you and your kids, the generation gap is 1. Between your kids, the generation gap is 0. So that's the idea, right? Simple. Generation gap. So J is the brother of T implies what? The generation gap between J and T must be 0. Siblings, right? Siblings means the generation gap has to be 0. That's it. We'll worry on, we'll work on these two things. One is that J should be a male person. The second point is that the generation gap has to be 0 between J and T, right? Look at first option, right? Now look at the equation. See, J to T. We have to connect from J to T. So anyways, this percentage L is of no use. We are not going to extend up to L, only from J to T. Now try to work on this. J division P. Division means what? Right? Division means what? Son. Right? Division here means son. So definitely J is a male person, right? J is the son of P. So gender is anyway satisfied. It has to be satisfied because the given equation should be correct. So J is a male person. Division means son. Now if division means son, what is the generation gap between J and P? -1. Understand? For generations below, we take negative. For above, we take positive. For example, J is the son of P. Generation gap is 1. J is the father of P. Generation gap is 1. But since we are trying to solve the question, we have to, consider the sign also. Not just the magnitude, but the sign. J is the son of P, we'll take -1. If it is given J is the father of P, we'll take +1. Likewise, J is the grandfather of P, we'll take +2. But if J is the grandson of P, we'll take -2. It's like, you are moving in upward direction or downward direction. So that has to be balanced. So J is the son of P, -1. P percentage H. Percentage means what? Mother. Mother is what? 1 generation above. So we'll take generation gap as +1. Question mark. Now what should come in place of question mark here? So that the overall generation gap from J to T. See, we'll work only from J to T. What is the total generation gap from J to T? 0. The total gap from J to T is 0, right? Total overall gap has to be 0. Now what do we do? Add all these. -1 + 1, -1 + 1 plus question mark should be equal to 0. So -1 and +1 gets cancelled, which means question mark has to be 0. Question mark, the relationship there denotes a generation gap of 0. Now look at all these relationships. Can the question mark be plus? No, because plus means father, and if it is father, gap will be 1. Into, possible. Into means sister, generation gap can be 0. Wife, possible. Wife means generation gap is 0. Mother, not possible. Generation gap is 1. Son, not possible because generation gap is -1. So the only possible answers here are into and dollar. It can either be into or dollar, which means second option is gone. Fourth option is gone because it cannot be division. And fifth option also is gone. Only two possible answers, either first one or the third one. Now you can just substitute one of them and verify. Right, and need not draw the family tree for that. For example, J is the division means what? J is the son of P. P is the mother of H. Now it's obvious. J is the son of P. P is the mother of H. That means J and H are siblings. J is the son of P, right? J is the son of P. So P will come above. J is the son of P, and P is the mother of H. So which means J and H are siblings. They are children of P. Children of P. And it is obvious that if you want J to be the brother of T, H should also be a sibling of T. Sibling means what? It can be sister. So answer has to be into, which is first option. So very simple. Focus on two things: gender and generation gap. See, if you don't apply this, logic, what happens? Nothing much. These options will not get eliminated. Wrong answers will not get eliminated, and you will have to probably verify every option there. Here anyway, you are lucky enough that first option itself is the answer. So when you substitute first option, you get the right answer there. But let's say if into is given in fifth option, what happens? You'll first check first option, then second, then third, and then fourth, and then you'll come to fifth. So by the time you reach fifth option, you have actually gone through 4 wrong answers, which will, make you end a waste of, you'll end up wasting a lot of time. So that is the reason. First, try to eliminate the wrong answers there. Let's look at a few more questions. Okay, so I'm sure you're able to follow this concept of gender and generation gap. Let's look at next one. Next question. This is different. Here it says, which of the following expressions indicate M is the daughter of T? This is another model. M is in line with what we have done, but slightly different. M is the daughter of D. We want M to be the daughter of D. In which of the options is it correct? L %R $D plus T into M. Second option, L plus R $D plus M into T. Third option, L %R %D plus T division M. Fourth option, D plus L $R plus M into T. And last one there, L $D division R %M division T. So these are the 5 options. Now earlier case we were required to find out what comes in place of question mark, but in this case it says which of the equations is correct if M is the daughter of D, or in which of the equations do you find that M is the daughter of D? In which of the equations do you see that M is the daughter of D, right? Which is correct. What do we do? Same concept. See, if you don't go by this logic, you'll have to verify the relationship in every equation, which may take a lot of time. Like I said, if the answer is fifth option, gone, right? You'll have to, play with all the first 4 options unnecessarily. So first try and eliminate as many answers as possible. How do we do that? The concept of gender and generation gap. See what is given. M is the daughter of D. If M is the daughter, it is obvious that M is female. Whatever notation you use, right? We generally use plus for male and minus for female. There, don't get offended by that. You can use your own notation, but I'm just trying to follow the general conventions there. So M is the daughter of D, female, and daughter of D. M is the daughter of D means between M and D, the generation gap has to be 1. From M to D, it should be -1. From D to M, it should be +1. Because M is the daughter of D implies D is the parent of M. Parent of M, male parent or female parent, whichever it is, generation gap will be 1. So M is the daughter of D implies generation gap here should be 1. Plus or minus. That will anyway verify, right? So 2 points. M should be female and the generation gap has to be 1. Now look at first option. See, don't worry about unnecessary persons here, right? Irrelevant persons. For example, I want to connect M to D. We want to get the relationship between M and D. Now M and D are available here. So there is no point in L, R, dollar, percentage in between them. Not required. M to D. M to D. Now the point to be noted here is we'll first look at the gender of M. What is given? T into M. Into means what? T is the sister of M. T is the sister of M. M is what of T? It can be brother or sister. Both are possible, right? The point here is we are unable to decide the gender of M. The equation says T is the sister of M. T is the sister of M does not imply M is the sister of T. M can be the sister of T or the brother of T. Both are possible, which means the gender of M is not known. And because the gender of M is not known, this cannot be the correct answer because we want M to be the daughter of D. We have to be sure that M is the daughter of D. Hence, first option is eliminated. Are you able to follow? No need to draw family tree. No need to check generation gap. First verify gender and only then go for generation gap. Look at second option. Again, same thing. We have to connect M to D. We have to connect M to D. Now, M and D are directly connected here. M and D are directly connected. Plus means what? Plus. Plus means father. D is the father of M. D is the father of M. D is the father of M. Okay. So D is the father of M means generation gap is 1, which is okay. But we want to know the gender of M. M into T. Into means what? Sister. M is the sister of T. Now, do you think both the conditions are satisfied? Yes. Second option is the answer. Yes or no? D is the father of M. If D is the father of M, it is obvious that M is the child of D. But we need to know which child, male child or female child. How do we check that? Connect M to T. M is the sister of T. M is the sister of T means M is female. D is the father of M. D is the father of M. So M is the daughter of D. M is the daughter of D. Satisfied or not? Both the conditions are satisfied. Gender and generation gap. Second option has to be the answer. Need not verify the remaining options. Now let's assume second option is given in 5th place. And we have all these options upwards. In that case, how do we eliminate? Let's check the conditions. M is the daughter of D. Connect M to D here. Plus, sorry. Again, the point is T division M. Division means what? Son. T is the son of M. T is the son of M. T is the son of M means what? M is parent of T. Which parent? Male parent or female parent? Both are possible. T is the son of M does not imply M is the father of T or M is the mother of T. Both are possible, but which is definite can't be said. So the gender of M again cannot be decided. And the moment you know that gender of M cannot be decided, you can eliminate this. So this gets eliminated. In single point, gender. Next one, D plus L $R plus M. Now this is interesting. M and D are separated, right? In between M and D, we have got 3 symbols. So it will be interesting to work on this. First of all, gender of M. First work on gender always, right? So M into T. Into means what? Sister. M is sister, which implies M is the sister of T. Anyway, T is not required, but for the sake of gender, we know that M is the sister of T, which means M is female. So the first condition is satisfied. M is female. Now we need to work on the generation gap. Work on the generation gap. Plus means what? Plus means father. So this is 1. $, means what? Wife. So this is 0. Plus means what again? Father. Now if you observe between D and M or from M to D, what's the total gap? 1 plus 0 plus 1, 2. The generation gap is 2. But we are looking for a generation gap of 1. So though the gender is satisfied, the generation gap does not satisfy. Fourth option is eliminated. It is the point. So no need to draw family tree. Just verify from the answer option there. Gender and generation gap. And look at the last one. M to D. Again, between M and D, we have got 2 persons. First of all, gender. M division means what? M is the son. M is the son cannot be the answer because M should be a female person. So even if these 3 options are above the right answer there, within 15 seconds, you can eliminate all the wrong answers there. So second option has to be the correct one. All right. So this is very important concept of answering questions from blood relations. Okay. Practice on this. I'm sure you'll save. I don't say you will save 5 minutes in the exam, but even if one question is asked, you can easily save about 10 seconds per option, right? Drawing that family tree will take a lot of time. However quick you do, you'll end up wasting some time there, right? So that's about this one. I think we'll take one last question. Time is already up, but I wish I could do more, but one last question from blood relations. This time it is the other way, right? Which among the following expression is true if Y is the son of X is false, is definitely false. So, something has to be definitely false. So far we have been checking which is definitely correct. But now we have to check which of them is true if X is the son of Y or Y is the son of X is definitely false. For example, I'll just put the question. Which is true if Y is the son of X is, mind it, definitely false, not definitely true. Y is the son of X. This Y is the son of X. This relationship should be definitely false. Now this is definitely false in which of the given equations? Which of them is true? So that this is false. I'll put the answer options here. Q percentage L into T into Y division X. W plus L into T into Y division X. Third one, X plus L into T into Y division W. The fourth one there is W dollar X plus L plus Y plus, right, this L, Y plus T. And there's another one there, fifth one. It says W percentage X plus T into Y division L. So, do it carefully. Generally what happens is we read this question, we get excited. Why? Because you know the SMART method, right? And in your excitement, you forget that this should be false. So you have to read the question properly. Very important. Read it properly and find out which of them is true. Which of these is true, such that Y is the son of X is definitely false. Let's see how many of you get it right. And this is going to be the last question of the session. I wish I could do more. I think there's a lot of demand for questions on syllogisms, but I think we'll have to close the session here. I'll make sure that when we meet the next time with the reasoning session, reasoning free session, we'll pick up questions from syllogisms. And yes, syllogisms is a very important topic. Any competitive exam that you take, especially bank exams, whether it is SBI or IBPS, POs or clerks or specialist officers for that matter, syllogisms is one favorite topic of the examiner, right? One of the favorite topics of examiner. In my view, that's the one topic which tests your reasoning ability, right? That's truly your test of reasoning. So we'll take it up. Next session, we'll try and take up syllogisms. But you must be aware that our next session is on next Wednesday, that is 20th of May, 6 p.m., Wednesday, 6 p.m. And that is going to be on quantitative ability, right? Quantitative aptitude. Again, like what we have done here, we'll pick up a few questions. I'll try to pick up questions from the previous paper so that you get a sense of what kind of questions are being asked. Well, I don't mean that similar questions will be asked in the exam. They may ask you tougher or easier questions. Both are possible, because you know that the most predictable thing about bank exams is unpredictability. Something will happen. What? We don't know. So be prepared for the worst. And to be prepared for the worst means be prepared with everything. That's the idea. So next session, we'll look at quantitative aptitude, a few questions from quantitative aptitude, which is scheduled for 20th of May, 6 p.m. So don't forget to join us for that session with your friends and learn few of the smart methods of answering questions. So which is true if Y is the son of X is definitely false. I see a lot of answers coming in. I think Chaitanya Krishna, Anida Das, and Archana, Charan. Okay, somebody's asking me to stand aside. Sorry. Well, I hope you're able to see it now, or maybe I'll go there. Okay, so 30 seconds more. If I was the hurdle there, I was the obstacle there. And however, if you are really worried about syllogisms, watch our video, right? Watch our syllogisms video. We have discussed all the cases there: possibility cases, conclusion cases, complementary pairs, different types of statements, their definite conclusions, their basic diagram, possible diagram, right? There's a lot of theory basically when it comes to syllogisms, and practice is the key. That's one topic which may kind of, I am not getting the right word, which may trouble you to a large extent there. So it's like, many people like it very much, and there are others who don't like it at all. They say like, this is not my cup of tea, so I'm not going to touch it. But believe me, that's only a myth. Syllogisms is difficult is a myth. And syllogisms is difficult if you don't have the right professional support is the fact. Or for that matter, any topic or the overall exam as such, right? Bank exams are difficult is a myth. Bank exams are difficult if you don't have the right professional support. That's a fact. Chalo. So I think most of you have answered this. So let's look at the solution. Now, what do we see? Which is true if Y is the son of X should be false. Y is the son of X should be definitely false. So all you need to do is, wherever you see that Y is the son of X, eliminate that, because we don't want Y to be the son of X, right? Simple idea is Y should not be the son of X. Now look at the first one. I think first one, directly Y and X are together, right? We need not worry about Q, L, T and all that. Don't try to establish that relationship. Unnecessarily, you are wasting your time there. So Y is the son of X. Division means what? Mother. Y is the mother of X. Y is the mother of X. See, understand. Y is the son of X is definitely false, he says. Now you may argue that when we are saying Y is the mother of X, Division means what? Sorry, division means son. Y is the son of X. Clearly, Y is the son of X in first option. So this cannot be the answer. We don't want Y to be the son of X. Second one, again Y and X are connected directly, and I think same thing. Y division X. Y is the son of X. Second option gets eliminated. Division means son. Eliminated. Third option, X plus L into T into Y and so on. So maybe here X and Y are separated, so we'll have to connect them. Y is the son of X. So what do we do? Actually, Y is the son of X means Y should be a male person, and the generation gap should be 1 between Y and X. Now, if you look at it, Y division W. Division means what? Son. So definitely the gender is satisfied. Now let's look at the generation gap. Plus is father, so this is 1. Into is sister, so 0. This is into, so 0. So overall generation gap is also 1. So basically the gender is satisfied and the generation gap is also satisfied. So again, this may prove out to be son of X. Y may be the son of X, but we'll have to verify, because just because the gender and generation gap are satisfied does not mean that it is correct. Because one generation gap and male person can be your son, can be your son-in-law, can be your nephew. Multiple relationships are possible. So let's try and connect actually. X is the father of L. X is the father of L. Plus means father. X is the father of L. L into T into Y. Into means what? Sister. L is the sister of T. T is the sister of Y. And Y is a male person. So basically what happens? All these three are siblings. L, T and Y are siblings. L and T are sisters. Y is the brother. Siblings. And who is the parent? X. So X is the parent of Y. And Y is a male child. So can we say Y is the son of X? Yes. So third option also gets eliminated. Fourth option. X and Y. Where are X and Y? Let's look at this. Plus and plus. Plus means what? Father. Now, if you look at it, between X and Y, what is the generation gap? 2. X and Y. The generation gap between X and Y is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. We were actually looking for a generation gap of 1. We actually don't want the generation gap to be 1, right? Y should not be the son of X. That means the generation gap should not be 1. The generation gap is not 1. Between X and Y, the generation gap is not 1. And I need not worry about gender, because I want the wrong answer. I've got the wrong answer, which is fourth option. So fourth option is my answer. No, Y cannot be the son of X here, because between Y and X, the gap is 2. So Y cannot be the son of X. Hence, fourth option is the correct answer. So read the question carefully. I think I have found many students going wrong here because of confusion. Either they assume that this is true and try to check it. First option itself they'll mark, because first option directly says Y is the son of X. So be careful. Read the question properly. It is very important that you read the question properly, and only then proceed for the solution. So I think with this, we like to close the session. I hope all of you have followed the concept here, the concept of gender and generation gap, and how do we answer questions from coded inequalities. Well, this is just an idea about these two topics. There is more that can be discussed, but unfortunately, I'll have to close it. So let's stop here. Thank you all for participating in this session. Please share your valuable feedback, and I've already got some feedback on conducting syllogisms in the next class. So I assure that we'll try and take up questions on syllogisms in our next reasoning ability free session. But however, there is a program available for you, the Banker's Choice online program, which is being followed by more than 3 lakh students across India who prepare for their bank exams, and with a huge success rate, right? So you can enroll for this program if you wish to. All the videos are available, 24/7 learning, anytime, anywhere, right? At your convenience. Anyway, details are available on the website, www.talentsprint.com, or you can call our toll-free number, which is 1-800-2000-916. So get the details and be a part of the largest learning community of bank exams across India. With that note, I would like to close this session. Please share your valuable feedback. And one suggestion that I have for all of you is, exam is just 1 month away, right? I've already told you that dates have been announced. The first slot is going to be on 20th of June. So today is 14th May, 20th of June is about 5 weeks away, right? 5 weeks, I think precisely 5 weeks from now. So 5 weeks is enough in my view, right? Don't get scared by numbers. I'm sure even I have scared you in the first session when I told there are 20 lakh people who are going to apply for phase 1, only 40,000 will be called for phase 2, of which only 6,000 will be called for phase 3. Yes or no? Because we have been seeing the trend. Easily about 20-25 lakh students appear for the SBI PU exam. And out of this, they have clearly mentioned that only 20 times the number of vacancies will be called for phase 2. So 20 lakhs will enter for phase 1, only 40,000 will be called for phase 2. Of these 40,000, only 6,000 will be called for phase 3. So that's how the filtration is going to happen. 20 lakhs becomes 40,000, becomes 6,000, becomes 2,000. So that may be a little scary. This number is really scary, right? For 20 lakhs. Right? You're going to compete with 20 lakh people on one single day there, right? Or for that particular exam. But I have another number which will motivate you, right? If this number scares you, I have something to motivate you, which is 8.5 lakhs per annum. Well, that's handsome, right? 8.5 lakhs per annum is what? A good salary? No. Let's say great package for a fresher, right? Even if you're a fresher, you just can't expect any other company or any other organization to pay you this salary, 8.5 lakhs per annum. So do one thing every day when you get up. If you want motivation, maybe if you are not feeling good about it, if you're kind of disappointed, dejected that you have not prepared well or you may not qualify, do one thing. Every morning when you get up, look at the notification of SBI PO 2015 and directly move to that section which talks about salaries and emoluments, right? 8.5 lakhs per annum. So that should definitely it at least motivates me, right? So should definitely motivate you. So if one is scary, 20 lakhs is scary, I'm sure 8.5 lakhs will bring a smile to your face. And with that note, we'll close the session. Keep practicing. Practice is the key. The more you practice, the easier it gets. So practice, practice, and more practice. Lage raho, and I'm sure you'll make it. Thank you. I'll see you in the next session. Take care.